Go live. For the love of all things holy. It's my headphones. It's for some reason there's something wrong with the permissions. I am not sure what's going on with Instagram. It is not letting you in yet, like it likes to do. It's such a pain in the ass. Okay, live. Seriously? Okay. Okay. Bluetooth. Connected voice music. I don't understand how to fix this stupid setting. I give up. Okay, I'm going to restart the Instagram because it does not seem to be letting you in. No. And video. There we go. Try this again. Okay. Hopefully that works. In the meantime, okay, joined. Because it's going to allow you to go live with me. Please excuse us. Once again, we are having technical difficulties because Instagram fucking hates us. All right, it should have let you in. I don't know what it's doing. And I still can't hear you. I'm trying to ask my husband how to fix this, but I don't know what's going on with the Instagram and why it's not letting you in. Yes, okay, view, go live. It says you're unable to join. Okay. You go live. I'm going to scream. There it goes. Oh my fucking God.
Can you hear me on here?
Yes, I can. Yay! No, there's something wrong with the settings, and I thought Aaron fixed it. He did fix it. But I guess it decided to, just be a dick and restart itself, return itself to factory settings or something, so that you get my voice, the mic's on, but the speaker isn't, and I don't know why it does this to me. It hates me. This episode's cursed. It's just like the Axeman of New Orleans.
Someone figured out how to open the door.
How was your week?
Yes, it was good. How was your week?
Yeah. But at this point is the use.
Yeah.
Not to be a negative Nancy, but at this point it really is fucking usual. Oh. Just excuse me while I drop the F-bomb 5 million times because I'm done with this shiz. It opened 3 windows, so now I'm trying to figure out which window is which. And it's not showing my lives. Why do you hate me, YouTube? Maybe. I don't know. So, welcome to part 3 of Murder in the Moonlight. Here we go. Got it. Why is this unlisted? This is, oh my God. Public. Thank you very much. Ugh. I'm gonna scream. Okay, it's not unlisted. It's public. Change the damn settings. It's all good. It's all good. Okay. So yes, part 3, Golden State Killer. Dum. Select the speaker on the lower right corner. Okay, and then select headset. Headphones. Speakers. Okay, stereo. Speakers. I don't know. Does that work?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Not on my goddamn computer. Can you hear me through your computer?
Yes.
I don't know what this motherfucker's doing. Speakers. Okay, maybe that's it. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, as long as it's working on your end, that you can hear me, I'll just listen to
I
you
can
through the
hear you,
Instagram. So I don't know.
All right.
I don't know what's going on. At some point, I just give up.
Right. Exactly.
I have
Yeah,
this.
and we'll change the whole setup here too. So
Yeah. I have this friend, and like, she's part of this group I'm in. So like sometimes we're chatting, and then she'll drop me a TM, and she's like, "Why is there so much drama in your life? Like, how is this happening?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what's happening. Yes, my headset's turned on. Yes, I have mic, but no speaker. Is your headset turned on? Psh, it's not amateur hour. Golden State Killer, part 3.
yeah.
I don't even know where we were at.
Well, so I mean, we've talked about who he was, the overview of everything. So I think today we can actually kind of go over the victims. Was what I was thinking.
Okay. By the way, on Instagram, all it is chin. You have a very expressive chin.
Golden State Killer.
Oh my gosh. I still need to edit what we were recording last week, but I've had the Jeffrey Dahmer song stuck in my head this all week long. My brain will just randomly. Do you see when they click on the sound icon on the lower right corner? I don't know, Aaron. I see it says headphones. Wait, do I have sound now? Nope, damn it. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm just gonna chat with my husband.
Well, anyway, we're gonna talk about the victims. Now, there were a lot of victims of the Golden State Killer in various ways. He committed over 150 burglaries, over 50, or it was 180 burglaries, I want to say, 50 rapes, and then I believe 12 murders. So we're murder in the moonlight, so we're going to concentrate on the murder victims.
Oh my gosh, my cat is being such an asshole. She's outside the door singing the song of her people. So fucking loud.
Yeah, Penny figured out how to sneak in here, and she's been, whining, and you can kind of hear her little feet tapping every once in a while because I'm not paying enough attention to her.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so
okay.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the murder victims from tonight. Was kind of my plan. And I admit, I didn't have a lot of time to do research this week, so I'm looking at Wikipedia. I'm not going to lie about it. And that's not the only place that we get our information, but that's where I am getting my information from. So I hope that's okay. So the first murder victims of Golden State Killer. Wait, let's see this. So on October 1st, no, there was one in 1978. Yeah, there we go. Brian and Katie Maggiore. They were a young couple from Sacramento, and they were walking their dog in Rancho Cordova, and it was February 2nd, 1978, which it was an area near where the East Area Rapist attacks had occurred before. 5 different attacks. So the Maggiores, they had a confrontation in the street with the Golden State Killer, and they were chased down and shot to death. And the investigators suspected that they had been murdered by the East Area Rapist because of how close a proximity they were to the other attacks locations. And they found a shoelace nearby. But they weren't officially connected to the Golden State Killer until June of 2016, that he was the one that had murdered them. So in 2020, when D'Angelo was arrested, he did enter a plea of guilty to these murders. So they always thought it was the East Area Rapist that had committed these murders, but they didn't have it like officially connected to him until 2016. So that happened in February of 1978. The rest of the murders all happened after 1979, when he had moved to another area of California. So, he had been in one area where so many of the rapes had taken place, and then he moved down to Ventura, and that's when he started with the murders of his victims. So on October 1st of 1979, an intruder broke in and tied up a couple that lived in Goleta, California.
Oh my gosh, she's trying to duo me.
What was that?
My husband is trying to duo me on my phone.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay. So this couple heard the intruder saying, I'll kill him, to himself as he was walking through their house. They tried to escape when he left the room, and the woman screamed. Realizing that they had set off the alarm, the intruder fled on a bicycle. A neighbor, who was an FBI agent, responded to the noise and pursued the perpetrator, who abandoned the bicycle and a knife and fled on foot through the local backyards. The attack was later linked to the Offerman Manning murders by shoe prints and twine used to find the victims. So the Offerman Manning murders happened on December 30th of 1979. 44-year-old Robert Offerman and 35-year-old Deborah Alexandra Manning were found shot to death at Offerman's condominium in Goleta. Offerman's bindings were untied, indicating that he had lunged at the attacker. Neighbors had heard gunshots. There were paw prints of a large dog found at the scene, which led to the speculation that the killer may have brought a large dog with him. The killer had also broken into the vacant adjoining residence and stolen a bicycle, which was later found abandoned on the street north of the scene. The next murder was on March 13th of 1980. 33-year-old Charlene Smith and 43-year-old Lyman Smith were found murdered in their Ventura home. Charlene Smith had been raped. A log from a wood pile on the side of the house was used to bludgeon the victims to death. Their wrists and ankles had been bound with drapery cord. He had used an unusual Chinese knot called a diamond knot to tie Charlene's wrists together. The same knot was noted in the East Area rapist attacks, at least one confirmed case of which was publicly known. So at that point, the murders became known as the Diamond Knot Killer. So again, he had a lot of different names that they called him because they weren't sure which crimes were committed by the same person, as they were in different areas. So, he was known as the East Area Rapist. He was known as the Diamond Knot Killer. He was known as a whole bunch of different names until they were able to really tie them all together in 2016, and that's when he started becoming known as the Golden State Killer.
I have to remind you, we kind of have to be careful with the language about the word that rhymes with graped.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you.
I mean, at this point, we're murder in the moonlight. If they're going to shut us down for saying murder, they're going to shut us down for saying murder. But we do have to be a little bit more careful with some of the other stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. It's like something that we're trying to figure out now.
Mm-hmm. So the next murder was on August 19th of 1980. And it was 24-year-old Keith Eli Harrington and 27-year-old Patrice Briscoe Harrington. And they were found bludgeoned to death in their home in Dana Point. It was in the Nigel Shores gated community. Patrice Harrington had also been assaulted.
Oh my gosh, I apologize for that.
What?
Oh, you didn't hear that big ass beep?
No. I wasn't paying attention.
Trying to fix the sound on my computer, and it's just like right in my earphones.
So does that work better if I say that they were assaulted?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. There was evidence that their wrists and ankles had been bound, but no weapon or ligatures were found at the scene. They had been married for only 3 months at the time of their death. Patrice was a nurse, and Keith was a medical student at UC Irvine. Later, Keith's brother Bruce spent nearly $2 million supporting Proposition 69 in California, which was authorizing the DNA collection from all California felons and other criminals. So he wanted, all felons that were arrested to have to give a DNA sample so that it could be tested against previous samples that they collected from, so that they have DNA samples from Patrice and from this murder, and they didn't have anybody to compare it to. So this proposition was to kind of force law enforcement to take a DNA test of every felon. Like anybody that goes into jail or prison, they would have to give a DNA sample so that it could be tested and find that, if it matched this old case, that would help. Which is not how the Golden State Killer was found, but, still probably helps a whole lot with other cases in California.
I would imagine.
Then on February 6th of 1981, 28-year-old Manuela Whithun was assaulted and murdered in her Irvine home. She had signs of being tied up before she was bludgeoned, but no murder weapon or ligatures were found. And she was married, but her husband was in the hospital at the time, and so she was alone during the time of the attack. Her television was found in the backyard, which they feel was the killer's attempt to make the crime appear to be a botched robbery. Then on July 27th, 1981, Sherry Domingo and 27-year-old Gregory Sanchez became the 10th and 11th murders. They were attacked in Domingo's house in Goleta, which was several blocks south of Robert Offerman's condominium. So a previous victim, still in the same area. And he had gained entrance to the house through a small bathroom window. Sanchez had not been tied up and was shot and wounded in the chest before he was bludgeoned to death with a garden tool. Some believe that Sanchez may have realized he was dealing with the man responsible for the Offerman Manning murders and tried to tackle the killer rather than be tied up. Again, no neighbors responded to the gunshot. Sanchez's head was covered with clothes pulled from the closet. Domingo was assaulted and bludgeoned. She had bruises on her wrists and ankles, indicating that she had been tied up, although the restraints were missing. A piece of shipping twine was found near the bed, and fibers from an unknown source were scattered over the body. Authorities believed that the attacker may have worked as a painter or in a similar job at the Calais Real shopping center. So that was all in 1981. The next murder was not until 1986. So he stopped for a few years. But then on May 4th, 1986, 18-year-old Janelle Lisa Cruz was found after she had been assaulted and bludgeoned to death in her Irvine home. Her family was on vacation in Mexico during the time of the attack. A pipe wrench reported missing by Cruz's stepfather was thought to be the murder weapon. So they didn't think that these murders were connected because it was in a completely different jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
They believed that the East Area assaultist was responsible for the
so hard
attacks in Goleta, but that the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office attributed them to a local career criminal who was later murdered. So they didn't think that they were connected.
I was hearing, I can't remember which podcast it was, but they were saying right around the time that he had that big gap was around the time that his kids were born.
Right. Yeah, I believe so. So they eventually connected this murder to him through DNA testing. So they were able to find, like, this is the same DNA as these other crimes, so it's the same person, but they still didn't know who it was. So those were all of the murders that he committed. After that, he pretty much stopped. Like we said, his kids were growing up, and apparently that changed his need to kill people.
And kids kind of take up a lot of time, so I mean, not that it ever stopped people like BTK and whatever, but
right. Exactly.
Every time I hear BTK, I think of morbid. Fucking Dennis.
Fucking Dennis. So let's see. So my dog is just sitting here whining at me.
It's okay. My cat's finally stopped screaming. She does that though. She'll just like go around the house crying until I call her.
Right. Yeah. So at this time, it was in 1980 that Joseph D'Angelo and his wife purchased a house, and they had 3 daughters together in Sacramento. Like 2 were born in Sacramento and 1 was born in Los Angeles, and then they didn't separate until 1991. So, in 1981 he had stopped committing murders and then did 1 more murder in 1986, and then still had stopped. But during this time, he was still writing letters and calling the victims.
Yeah, that was a big dick move on his part. Is like years down the road he'd be calling.
Right. So during the time where he wasn't doing anything, so 1982 to 1991. So he was still married. This was before he and his wife separated. And this is during the time where, so he's not committing as many murders anymore, but he is calling all of his previous victims. He would call them at their places of work. He would call them at their home. He would say that he was going to come and assault them again. Or I think there were some calls where he would call previous assault victims and just say, gonna kill you, gonna kill you, gonna kill you.
Oh, I should see if I can find his creepy ass. You go ahead. I'm going to see if I can find the creepy ass recording of him being a dick.
And then, so he mostly did those calls between 1982 and 1991. So these are the years that he was the most inactive of his crimes, but he was still calling and harassing his previous victims. And then stopped in 1991, and then in 2001, there was an article about him in the Sacramento Bee, and when he read that article, he decided to call up one of his past assault victims and asked her, do you remember when we played?
Okay, here's one in 35 seconds, 1977. Oh, screw you, Liberty Mutual. Nobody cares. God damn it. Okay. You hear that?
No, I don't hear it.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna make everything very, very mad at me because it's just coming through my headphones. Hey, how come I can hear this through my headphones, but I can't freaking hear you?
I don't know.
What the fudging flippin' godless?
I don't know. I hope it's not like a problem on my end that might.
It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. Okay, so I'm gonna move my phone back this way to try and avoid some of the echo, and I'm gonna turn off my Bluetooth for just a second. Oh my god, she's at it again. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get this working now, where you can hear it. You hear that?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Gross.
So gross. Douche. I gotta repair.
Okay. So, the murders that happened in Goleta, California, they thought that they were perpetrated by Brett Glasby. He was considered a suspect by the Santa Barbara County investigators, but he was murdered in 1982 before the murder of Janelle Cruz. So once Janelle Cruz had been murdered and the DNA evidence was linked to the same perpetrator as the other victims, they eliminated Brett as a suspect. There were a bunch of other crimes that happened that they looked into seeing if those were also committed by the Golden State Killer. For example, they found that there was a time in which Joseph D'Angelo had been stationed in Australia, and during that time there were murders that were committed. I'm trying to see. Oh, it was the murderer was called Mr. Cruel. And so they looked into seeing if he had committed those murders that were attributed to Mr. Cruel, but the DNA did not match. So that was not something that was committed by the Golden State Killer. But at this point,
there are times when people should not be allowed to make up serial killer nicknames.
Mr. Cruel's kind of terrible. Even Penny's sad about it. if you can't hear it, my dog is whining.
Oh, I can hear her. She's like, Mr.
Little
Cruel.
tippy taps of her feet. It was just funny. I'm like, yeah, that's a bad name. And she's just like, oh.
Like you, whoever came up with that. You're barred.
Yeah, not even Penny agrees with you, okay? Mr. Cruel is terrible.
Not that we should glorify serial killers by giving them cool nicknames.
No.
I have to like throw that little disclaimer out there so nobody gets mad. But, I mean...
Some of the names are really terrible, though. It's not that we want them to have cool names. It's not like that.
It's that stupid names are fun to make fun of.
Yeah.
Especially if, like, I want to know if Mr. Cruel was one that dude made up for himself, or if it was a reporter who came up with Mr. Cruel.
That's a good point. You know, if he was, like, writing letters to the newspaper or something.
Mr. Cruel and find out. Because if he named himself that, I'm just going to go on and on.
Should we go on a tangent?
Mr. Cruel.
Mr. Cruel
Alright, let's find out. Ooh, what a dick. I can't actually say what he did because we don't talk about certain things on this show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you want to look it up, it's right there. It's very easy. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out highly intelligent.
He's still never been
crimes.
It's a cold case.
I'm just kind of like trying to pop over this quickly because I don't want to read these details. Okay. We just don't know. Oh my gosh.
So apparently he gets his name because the police described a serial home invasion assaulter in 1987 as super cool and super cruel. And so they started calling him Mr. Cruel.
God, that makes it worse.
It's so bad. Like, it's not that I want people to have cool nicknames so that we can romanticize them, but the crimes... cruel is not exactly the word I would use to describe the crimes that happened.
Despicable.
Right?
Yeah.
They're better.
Yeah. Along the lines of the certain things we don't discuss, we're very careful about things that involve children. Especially very young children, especially any time after the 1900s.
Exactly. Yes, that's all we're gonna say about Mr. Cruel, but that's why I don't like the name. It's to an extent, like, it's not that I want them to sound cooler, but also that's really tame for what happened. And that kind of gives you a wrong impression of the attacks as well.
I'm officially not allowed to name serial killers.
You're officially not allowed to name serial killers?
Yeah, because my brain just went Cruella Dickville.
No, you're not.
I'm not allowed! Oh my god! How am I worse at this than they are?
Right?
Don't ignore me. I'm not a writer or anything.
Yours is terrible and gonna get a suit, Emily.
It's not Cruella. It's Cruella.
Right.
It's like, it's the this would be so much better if I could remember the name of the company that does all those Disney knockoff videos. I don't know. I don't know if they're still around. But they used.
We're gonna have a Penny.
Penny! I seriously still need to get her and Dory matching outfits.
Yes, that would be adorable. And she'd wear it. She likes wearing clothes, oddly.
Dory hates it, and I'm like, suck it up, Buttercup. You ate my carpet.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to model in cute dog clothes and all that crap because your puppies are paying to replace my carpet, you little shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's adorable, though.
Right. Did you find the quote that was really creepy that you were talking about?
Oh, no. I played the video right now. I'm trying to figure out. So they're called mockbusters, which are the knockoff Disney movies. That's what I was looking at. What are knockoff movies called? Mockbusters. Yeah, so the cruel Ella is the mockbuster.
Okay. That's fair.
Like I said, y'all, I ain't allowed to name these guys.
I just have a Penny now.
Penny.
She's here. It's your palate cleanser.
She's our official mascot.
Mm-hmm.
I will forever be sad that we can't do high penny merchandise because of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. It's true. You're so much cooler than Big Bang Theory, though, Penny.
God, she looks like she's just contemplating existence. She's having miniature existential crisis in your lap.
She probably is. Oh, earlier today we were watching a YouTube video. It's a channel that we really like watching that has some artists, and they kind of talk as they're doing different drawing prompts, and they were drawing like a man's face, and Penny was so intently staring at the TV the whole time, and as it became more detailed, she started growling and barking at it like it was an actual person in the house that was making her uncomfortable. So that was kind of amazing. We're like, wow, Penny.
Aw, pupper.
Yeah, I think that was really all I had prepared for today.
You know, I'm cool with that. It's a little bit shorter of an episode, but we're okay. It is our 50th episode, however.
Today's our 50th?
It's our 50th! Yeah! And we have the book that I forgot to bring downstairs, which is the True Crime Activity book for adults that we have been doing the giveaway on this week. Yes. You know what? We should play a game. We're going to play a game. Okay. This is really, really, really bad, but True Crime Party Game. Let's see what we've got. Oh, I don't want a fucking mystery party. 11 murder mystery games, True Crime Party. La, la, la. Okay, I looked up the wrong thing, obviously. True Crime Activity book. Check. Images. Let's see if we can pull up a game from there. Oh my gosh, why did I leave it upstairs? Why do I hate myself? It's not even that I actively hate myself, it's that my brain just tries to fuck me over all the time. Right. Ooh, okay, let's do this. Let's do serial killer trivia. Which, for people who run a true crime podcast, I am pretty sure we're going to suck at this. Okay. Oh, this one's easy. Okay. Which serial killer of boys and young men performed as Pogo the Clown at charitable events and children's parties?
Oh, John Wayne Gacy.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Next question. Which serial killer of 11 women in 1962 to 64 was eventually identified as Albert DeSalvo?
Salvo. Oh, crap.
It totally just gave me the answer. It waits 2 seconds.
I should know this, but I can't remember
Do
his name.
not restart now. I'll kick your ass if you do. Okay, so that's the Boston Strangler.
Boston Strangler, okay.
Okay, hold on a second. I have to tell my computer not to restart because I will kick its ass if it does. Okay, yes. That works for me. All right, next question. Which serial killer was the inspiration for the murderous character Scorpio in the 1971 film Dirty Harry?
Oh, I don't know.
The Zodiac Killer. Why do we suck at this so bad?
I guess that makes sense. But, I've never seen Dirty Harry. It's not that I don't know about serial killers. I don't know about Dirty Harry.
Oh, apparently there was one that... Really? Okay then. Well, I fucking suck not knowing the answer to this one. Which serial kills crimes inspired Alfred Hitchcock's 1927 film, The Lodger?
Oh, The Lodger. Oh.
Yeah. This is a fail on my part because apparently it's Jack the Ripper.
Oh, okay.
Fail, Emily. You are disqualified.
I was getting all prepared. Who was the killer that was Alfred Hitchcock based? And I'm all, they're going to go with Psycho. I already know it's Ed Gein. And then you threw The Lodger at me. And I'm like, oh.
Right? Okay, so which serial killer styled himself as Son of Sam?
Oh, that was Berkowitz.
Yes.
David Berkowitz?
Yep. Which serial killer's intelligence, charm, and good looks were emphasized in the media coverage of his... I'm thinking it's Bundy. Let's see. Yep. They say charm and style, and you know it's Bundy. Oh, whoops. Which serial killer of boys and young men tried to turn his victims into zombies by drilling holes in their heads where they were still alive? Oh, I know this one. It was Dahmer.
Is that Dahmer? Okay. I was
yeah, he poured acid into their skulls while they were still alive.
Ugh.
God, Dahmer wasn't... Okay, Emily, we don't use that term. It is...
I admit, I don't know a whole lot about Dahmer. That's not one that I really investigated a whole lot myself.
I don't know a ton about him, but the podcasts I listen to that cover him, he's quite memorable. Especially that detail is not one you forget easily. Which serial killer was the inspiration for the character Leatherface? Oh, yeah, we know this one. Please, Leatherface. Huh? Yeah, we know that one. That one's easy. I'm getting a horrible score on this because they give you 10 seconds to answer. Which serial killer posed as a hitchhiking prostitute to kill 7 male motorists?
Eileen Wuornos?
Yep. Who, incidentally, is in American Horror Story. I think it's Hotel is where she comes in. The character, not the person, obviously. Which serial killer and doctor murdered at least 215 middle-aged and elderly people by injecting them with an overdose of painkillers? Harold Shipman. Never heard of that one. Oh, yes, I did. That's the one that Jack was going to cover when she was going to do an episode for us. Dr. Death.
Okay.
Which serial killer of 100 boys was sentenced to be strangled with the same chain he had used to kill his victims? His body to be dismembered into 100 pieces and dissolved in acid. Holy fuck.
I don't know this one.
Okay, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but I'm guessing it's pronounced Javed Iqbal.
Okay.
Good God. Who is the first known American serial killer? Pff, that's easy. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes.
Yep. Which serial killer was known as as the Dusseldorf vampire because he drank the blood of at least one of his victims. Ugh.
Oh, I should know this. But I don't remember the name.
Peter Curtin.
Yeah,
It's okay, so that's would be Germanic, so it's like Curtin. Whatever. I'm not going to get fancy. By which name were the serial killers Kenneth Bonacci and Angelo Bueno known before their identities were discovered by police in 1978?
No.
Oh, wow. So this is a killer that I know very, very, very little about, and I did not know that there were two of them. And that is the Hillside Strangler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I admittedly know very little about that case. Which Soviet serial killer murdered at least 50 children and women, often butchering them where they were still alive between 1978 and hey! Damn you! It timed out on me. But apparently it was Andre Chikatilo. God damn it with these names.
These are also for future episodes because these are not people I know a whole lot about.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing is that I listen to a gajillion of these podcasts and so forth. You think that, and there's more and more and more that you never know about. Okay, so we've got some time left. I'm going to go for this one. Let's do another one and see how bad we suck at this one. La 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 la. Questions and answers. Oh my gosh, there's so much. I know the answer to this. When was the term serial killer first coined?
Oh, I don't know.
I believe it was the 70s. Yes. 1970s. It's a mind hunter. Which of the following serial killers kept the heads of victims in a freezer? That would be Dahmer. I guess I should actually read off the options so that you have a chance to participate.
That's okay.
What was the serial killer Metal Fang mostly known for? I have not heard of this one. Metal Fang. A, he had a pet wolf. B, he had white metal teeth. C, he had a group of aggressive dogs.
Go with a group of aggressive dogs.
That's what I'm thinking too. Let's find out. B, he had white metal teeth. Okay, we need to do you have something you can write this down with? We need to look up Metal Fang. Need to add that.
I can get something set up, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Why don't I just messenger it to you? And then it's sitting in our messengers. Okay, do that real quick.
The problem is I'm not on my computer, I'm on Nola's computer, so
I need to learn about this. Now I am intrigued. There we go. Send it to you. Okay. Wait, where'd it go? Where'd my game go? My game. Wow. Okay, let's see. Which serial killer was known for beheading and dismembering his victims? Oh my gosh, 5 million of them.
All of them. All of them, but so many.
BTK, son of Sam, Cleveland torso murderer. Cleveland torso murderer. That's what I'm thinking because BTK, I don't think.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, it was the Cleveland torso murderer. I had to think of modem apparatus. I'm like, no, they didn't dismember. The other two didn't, as far as I know. What is the main difference between a mass murderer and a serial killer? A serial killer is more skilled. B, a serial killer lets time pass between each murder. C, a serial killer murders all of the victims in a short period of time.
I think a mass murderer kills everybody within a short period of time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a serial killer lets time pass. Yeah, I'm going to see. Let's see. And the answer is, yep, a serial killer lets time pass. We're doing way better on this one. Which object did John Dillinger use to escape from jail? I should know this. A toothbrush, a wooden gun, a hammer.
Hammer. No. Why would you have a hammer? Toothbrush?
A wooden gun.
A wooden gun.
I'm mad about this one. Which of the following factors is not used by criminal experts to classify serial killers? Motive of killing, social patterns, method of killing.
Wait, say them again?
Motive of killing, social patterns, method of killing. Which one is not used to classify serial killers?
Method of killing.
I'm thinking method of killing too. Yep, we were right. Method of killing. Timothy McVeigh killed up to 168 people. How does anybody have the energy? I just don't understand. Anyhow, Timothy McVeigh killed up to 168 people because he was angry at the act of the U.S. government in which event? The incident of Ruby Ridge, the siege of Branch Davidian, the Iraq War.
No, it was before the Iraq War, wasn't it?
I don't remember who Timothy McVeigh is.
Oh, he was the Oklahoma City bomber.
All right, let's find out. The Iraq War.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I guess that's how you kill 168 people. You blow shit up. That makes sense. Don't do it. Which of the following factors? Why would you? Oh, your grammatical errors is pissing me off. Which of the following factor is often not considered as a reason for a person to become a serial killer? A, brain injury. B, childhood abuse. C, peer pressure. C.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, brain injury, childhood abuse are like two major indicators of somebody. There's a formula for making a serial killer. Well, and it's not like everybody who goes under these hat becomes a serial killer, but most serial killers, you see these patterns, and brain injury and childhood abuse are two big ones. So, what does MO in serial killers MO stand for? Method of yeah. I'm like, we don't even need to read those. It's modus operandi. Which serial killer murdered 30 women between 1974 and 1979? Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
I was going to
sure it was going to be Ted Bundy anyway, but
I'm thinking because Manson technically never killed anybody, Jeffrey Dahmer killed boys. So it is Ted Bundy.
I was going to say, I was thinking Ted Bundy anyway, just with the question in the time period. So yeah. That just like confirmed it to me. I was like, it's Ted Bundy.
I love that you go for time period and I go for MO. Which serial killer often dressed up as a clown? Oh, we already did this one. John Wayne Gacy. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre is often linked to which notorious criminal? Al Capone, John Dillinger Jr., George Moran.
Al Capone.
Yep. Oh, we did this one. No. Wow. That doesn't have the one that we had on there. Which man was known as the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history? And it's not Sam Little. So there's Gary Ridgway, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Paul Knowles.
Gary Ridgway was pretty bad.
I can't say I'm familiar with that one.
Gary Ridgway? He
so
was the Green River Killer in Washington.
You're right, it was Gary Ridgway. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Green River.
He killed for a really long time, and no one had any idea who he was. I have always been very intrigued by the Green River Killer, and I feel like it's a much more interesting set of crimes than Ted Bundy, by all means.
We need to cover that
Ted
at some
Bundy's
point.
Boring, I'm sorry.
Oh, did you? I think I sent you the video with the girl who was hoop dancing to the song about Ted Bundy.
No, I don't think so.
I'll have to send it to you because I don't know what the song is. I need to look it up. But it's a song that's totally slamming on Ted Bundy, and like he wasn't even that good looking and all this other stuff.
It really wasn't.
Funny song. Okay, so this one is one that both of us, we don't even have to try for. What is the nickname of the house in Chicago of H.H. Holmes, a notorious serial killer?
Oh, I can't remember.
What? I'm so disappointed in you. It's the Murder Castle.
Murder Castle.
Yeah. I love how one of the options is Fraudville. Yes, he killed people in Fraudville. Oh. Ooh, demonic dogs. Okay, which serial killer said that he committed murders under the commands of a demonic dog?
Oh, that would be
There's
Berkowitz again.
Okay, so he is one of the options. That's option B. Berkowitz. By the way, these type of games are something you can look forward to if you become a Patreon. We have monthly Zoom parties and we do stuff like this. So, you want to come play with us? Play to pay. I think the $3 tiers are where the Zoom parties start too. So, oh yes, we just did this one. How did the Angel of Death murder most of his victims? Drugs. Let me tell you something. Anytime it's Angel of Death, it's most likely drugs because they are. That's not true. There were those ones that. But they weren't, I don't know, because they kind of played the Angel of Death card. They were like smothering old people, but it wasn't really about that. We covered them, Gwen and Kathy.
That was back in February.
Yeah.
For Valentine.
Yep, for Folie à Deux. What do we call a serial killer who believes that he or she would profit in some way from the act of murders? A game killer, a reward murderer, a profiteer.
I think a game killer, but
That's what I was thinking too. Let's find out. Yep, we're right.
Yay!
Okay. What was the IQ of Patrick Kearney, or the trash bag killer? I have not heard of this one. Who killed 32 people from 65 to 77. Wait, do I know this one? Is this where his IQ was 80? 80, 110, 180. I think it was 80. I think I do know this one. All right, let's find out. 180. Oh my god. Nope, totally different person. Damn, that is a high IQ.
Right?
Damn.
We need to look into these. So we need to do the, what was it, Metal Fang?
Yeah, Metal Fang and the trash bag killer here. I will message that to you real quick. Trash bag killer. Metal Fang. Trash bag killer. Oh, you already did it. Okay.
And also Gary Ridgway.
Yes. Okay.
We should talk about Gary Ridgway soon.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if there's. I think we have time for one more on this. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Provide stimulation for your intelligent children, people. Give them shit to do. The serial killer William Hirons was known for leaving written messages in what? Lipstick, blood, feces.
Lipstick.
I'm guessing lipstick too. Let's find out. Lipstick! Okay. One more. I know I keep saying one more. There are a lot of these. Where did Ted Bundy work before he became a serial killer? A grocery store. Yep. Oh, we know this one. Which of the following serial killers murdered the famous actor Sharon Tate? Except for...
He didn't do it himself.
He didn't do it. Didn't Squeaker, whatever her name was, Squeaker? Or was it Squeaky? Squeaky was the one who actually pulled the trigger. Look. This is a hill I will die on. There are many. It pisses me off just as much as when people call Frankenstein's monster Frankenstein, when people call Charles Manson a serial killer. That is my hill. So on that note, don't call Charles Manson a serial killer. Be a bitch.
Carry a big stick.
And don't get murdered! Yay! I don't know why I'm saying yay. That's a little bit fucked up, Emily.